Hello and welcome to Insights, the podcast with your host, Joe Pane. Join me in this deep exploration of our personal journeys from ambition to meaning, where we stop living life fast and start living life deep. This is a journey of waking up and realizing that our lives have never been about us, but about others. True success leaves positive ripple effects on other souls. I believe that success needs to be redefined from our own personal ambitious endeavors to be redefined as the value that we leave and give to others around us. Join me now as we begin this journey to deeper connections, even more fulfillment, some fun, curiosity, life, love, and all good things. Your deeper journey from ambition to meaning starts right now. Well, hello everyone, it's Joe here. Welcome to episode 54. I'm delighted that you're here. This is the final episode for the year 2020. My Lord, it's all been said about the 2020 year, but looking forward to next year very much. So I'll be having a little break after this episode, and this will be the completion of season 2, which has been a long season actually. I think it's been about 30 or 40 episodes, and we'll be hopping into season 3 in mid to late January in 2021. So what are we focusing on today for the last episode of 2020? Well, this insight today, I want to talk about the year 2021, which I call the gaining of wisdom and letting go of knowledge. So firstly, what is the difference between wisdom and knowledge? Great question. Now, whilst dictionary definitions of these words overlap in so many ways, the main difference between the two is that wisdom is applied knowledge, whilst knowledge can be known, but not necessarily applied or experienced. Another way of looking at this is the difference between knowing about something versus knowing something from experience. Most of us at some point have been guilty of information gathering about something, but not applying it. And that's knowledge without wisdom. Wisdom has knowledge within it, but unapplied knowledge has no wisdom. When we apply knowledge, we gain wisdom. In essence, wisdom is created and expanded by what we experience, and knowledge is something we know about without experiencing it. Whilst reading about baking gives me knowledge, the wisdom can only come from being in the kitchen and failing forward with all of my successes and failures as far as baking goes. Wisdom runs deep. Knowledge unapplied does not. Wisdom connects to our essence, our being. Depending on how we all choose to look at 2020, there is an opportunity to expand and deepen our sense of who we are, and most importantly, who we choose to become in 2021. This expanded awareness contributes immensely to who we are in the form of wisdom. Okay, so what does all this mean for everyday living? The wiser we become, the better equipped we are to handle life's guaranteed uncertainties. There has rarely been a year in recent living memory that has had as many changes and challenges as 2020. The year that has passed is riddled in choice points of meaning. This is my fancy way of saying you take out of the year what you make of it. When faced with acute doses of uncertainty, it gives us an opportunity to become clearer in what matters more, clearer in what matters most. The human condition has a perpetual need for growth, like everything in nature. The fundamental precursor to all growth is uncertainty. Along with this can be pain. Call them growing pain, perhaps, as we are almost forced to let go of the past so we can get on with it. This past year has been more obvious sort of forcing of change. Change is personally evolving toward love instead of fear. That's how I look at it anyway. Uncertainty amplifies, and listen to this, uncertainty amplifies who we have been. All uncertainties are opportunities to choose who we want to evolve into. For what it's worth, I believe the ultimate goal is to become an unconditionally loving human being who sees us all as one consciousness being expressed via 7 billion different versions. Now, whilst personally I'm a long way off being unconditionally loving 24/7, experiencing moments of unconditional kindness toward a stranger is such a beautiful thing. Recognizing as a parent that if I think of every person I see as someone's son or someone's daughter, sounds like John Farnham, it brings me closer to love rather than judgment. Or in other words, judgment is fear of that person, as I've covered in previous episodes. Judgment is what we fear. Even though experiencing uncertainty may bring pain, it doesn't have to mean that we're going to suffer. Wisdom does not prevent pain, but it does prevent suffering. Pain in life is a natural inevitability. Suffering is a choice. A choice, really? Yes. Suffering is derived from when we stare at our pain far too long. Pain is a normal reaction to a difficult situation. Suffering is holding on far too long to that pain. Pain will reduce over time, but if we hold on tightly to that pain, it transforms into suffering. Pain is an organic part of our emotional and spiritual growth. Suffering is generated by what we think of our pain, the meaning we give our pain. If we've lost someone near and very dear, and I say this with the greatest of sensitivity because I know a few of my clients who have had this experience, unfortunately, in the last 12 months. The pain initially is incredibly intense and beyond description. Over time, the pain changes form and reduces in intensity. If the meaning I give that loss after many months or years is that I can't go on and live my life without that person, I will suffer. The suffering comes from not letting go. People confuse letting go with forgetting. We never will forget, but we can let go. Yes, we can let go without forgetting. This is the same with our relationship with time. The longer we hold on to how things once were, we will have pain and suffering. Instead, if we let go to how things were and how they are meant to be, we will experience pain for a little longer, but the suffering stops. So many people allow aspects of their past to play a significant role in their present. There is so much of our past that has no business being in our present. If our present is full of our past, more so than our present, we will have pain and suffering. In any given moment, we can choose who we want to become by choosing to respond differently to any everyday situation. If we don't do this consciously, our past will have a say. For example, if I see a friend across the street and wave hello and they don't wave back, how will I respond? What meaning do I give this? If I choose to feel sad and rejected, then I am being a slave to my past. This is because the sadness and rejection is an echo of all the times in my past I have been let down, rejected, or even betrayed. These micro moments of life are an opportunity to change. I can choose to give my friend not waving back, that whole experience, simply the meaning that they just didn't see me. I am changing the way I respond consciously. This may not seem like a big deal, but an accumulation of these micro changes in these micro moments evolves us, moves us toward love instead of fear. It's a move away from suffering and learning to surf through various pains that we will experience via life's guaranteed uncertainties. It's been said, the change you want to see, be the change you want to see in the world. Someone famous said that, and the name escapes me. But what if we all simply become the change that we want to see in our own lives, and the world will take care of itself? This adds to our wisdom without compromising knowledge. Sometimes our knowledge can compromise our wisdom. In other words, sometimes we need to stop overthinking things, knowledge, and just be the love, the wisdom, our world needs more of in 2021. So that's it. That's my final insight for 2020. It's a short one, a brief one, but nevertheless, I hope you gleaned some important insight from that. And I'm going to continue on with my best intention to move toward unconditional love in 2021, however that formulates, however that's created, and however that is challenged. And so I really, really appreciate you for being here with me on this journey so far. And I'm really excited and looking forward to 2021 and all it'll bring. I appreciate your time. If you've given me already a 5-star review for this podcast, I deeply appreciate it. When I last checked a few weeks ago, I think there was 84 or 85 5-star reviews, which I'm so thrilled about. And if you haven't, please go to Apple iTunes and do that for me. And only, of course, if you genuinely believe this is a 5-star podcast. So I appreciate that. All my very best for you in 2021. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side as we continue our journey into insights into episode 55 next year. And all my very best. And I'll see you on the other side. Thanks so much for listening. Bye for now. I'm Joe Pane, and you've been listening to Insights, the podcast. If you haven't yet, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. You can now follow my insights on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm looking forward to being with you again very soon in the next episode of Insights, the podcast.